I wake up to a strange buzzing sound. It's coming from my phone, still charging on the nightstand, dimly lighting up the otherwise dark room. It's 2 a.m. My eyes are blurry, my head slightly fogged from sleep. I blink at the screen, adjusting to the glow. The message isn't from work. Not from a friend either. It's from my wife. For a second, I wonder if she got locked out or needs me to pick her up from somewhere. But then I read the message. Pack your things and get out. I'm done with you and starting over with my 21-year-old soulmate. I've already drained all your accounts and credit cards. Bye. I read it twice. Not because I don't understand it the first time, but because it's so absurd that my brain needs an extra second to process it. I don't sit up. I don't throw my phone. I don't scream into the darkness or even react in the way a man probably should after getting a midnight text from his wife declaring the end of their marriage. Instead, I just stare at the screen, letting my mind replay every little moment over the past year that led to this moment. I should be furious, enraged, devastated, but strangely, I feel none of that. You see, I already knew. Not about the exact way she'd do it. Not that she'd be this bold, this ruthless, this ridiculous. But I knew Lauren wasn't the woman I married anymore. I knew when she started coming home later than usual, showering before even saying hello. I knew when she started smiling at her phone more than at me. I knew when she switched from our inside jokes to new phrases she picked up from whoever had her attention now. I knew the second she started treating me like a burden instead of a partner. She thought I was clueless. That's what makes this so funny. I exhale slowly and let the phone drop onto my chest. You know that moment when you're playing chess and your opponent smugly moves their queen, thinking they've trapped you, only to realize too late that you saw it coming 10 moves ago? That's exactly how I feel right now. Because Lauren thinks she's just pulled off the ultimate betrayal. That she's humiliated me in the worst possible way. That she's walking away from this as the winner. She has no idea that I've been 3 steps ahead of her this entire time. But I don't text that. No, that would be too easy. Too predictable. Instead, I take a slow breath, type 2 simple words, and hit send. All the best. Then, I roll over and go back to sleep. Because tomorrow, her real nightmare begins. The thing about betrayal is that it never comes out of nowhere. People think their partners just changed overnight. But that's a lie they tell themselves to avoid admitting they missed the signs. I didn't miss the signs. Lauren started checking out of our marriage months ago. Maybe even a year. It was gradual at first. The little things. The way she used to laugh at my jokes, but suddenly started rolling her eyes instead. The way she went from sharing every small detail of her day with me to locking her phone screen when I walked into the room. The nights she worked late, but came home smelling like expensive cologne that sure as hell wasn't mine. I watched her become someone else. Someone colder, more distant. Someone who made me feel like a ghost in my own home. Most men in my position would have confronted her. Screamed. Begged. Maybe even tried to fix things. Not me. See, when I realized Lauren was on her way out, I didn't panic. I didn't fall apart. I didn't make a single move, at least, not one she could see. Instead, I made a plan. Because if she wanted to treat me like I was stupid, I was happy to let her believe it. The first thing I did? I moved all my real money. Lauren thought she was smart, slowly transferring money from our joint account to her personal one. It was always small amounts, just enough that she assumed I wouldn't notice. But I noticed everything. So, I played along. I let her keep siphoning, keep thinking she was getting away with it. Meanwhile, I created a completely separate offshore account in her name. A little nest egg that was about to become her biggest nightmare. The second thing I did? I redirected my direct deposits. While she was busy draining what she thought was my only source of income, I had already rerouted my actual earnings elsewhere. Every paycheck, every investment, safe, untouched, completely out of her reach. And the final step? I set the ultimate trap. I made sure the only money left in our joint account, the one she was so smugly stealing from, was money that would flag the IRS the second it landed in her hands. Money that, on paper, looked stolen. Because legally, it was. By the time she sent that ridiculous midnight text, thinking she'd left me broke and desperate, she had actually just committed financial fraud in her own name. I let her think she won. Because the best part of revenge? letting them celebrate too soon. Lauren probably thought she was a mastermind. I can picture it so clearly, her tossing her phone aside after sending that smug text, stretching out on some overpriced couch in an even more overpriced penthouse, sipping a glass of champagne that she convinced herself she deserved. Oh, and let's not forget her soulmate, Jordan, the 21-year-old fitness junkie she dumped me for. The kind of guy who calls everyone bro, wears sunglasses indoors, and whose biggest accomplishment is having a six-pack that he flexes in every mirror he passes. The two of them must have thought they were on top of the world. Lauren, grinning like a cat that just stole a fish, probably turned to Jordan and raised her glass in some dramatic toast. To new beginnings, she would have purred, eyes gleaming with self-satisfaction. Jordan, being the intellectual giant that he is, probably clinked his glass against hers with a dumb smile, not realizing that the very money funding this ridiculous little celebration was never hers to begin with. I can already hear the conversation that followed. So, babe, where do we want to go first? Lauren would ask, scrolling through tropical vacation spots on her phone. Jordan, between sips of my $500 champagne, probably threw out some basic answer like, Dubai? I heard it's sick, bro. Dubai, Lauren would repeat, nodding like some world traveler despite having only ever been on one cruise to the Bahamas with me. They'd planned their new life, their fresh start, all while thinking I was back at home, devastated, crying into my pillow like some heartbroken loser. Oh, if only they knew. Because while they were celebrating their supposed victory, their world was already crumbling beneath them. They just hadn't realized it yet. Lauren probably felt untouchable walking into that penthouse earlier in the night. It was perfect, marble floors, floor-to-ceiling windows with a view of the city skyline. Furniture so expensive that even the air inside the place smelled like wealth. She probably spun in a slow circle, taking it all in, convinced she had truly won. She had no idea she was standing in a house of cards. That penthouse? Not her purchase. She thought she used my money to secure it, but in reality, I had set up the entire thing as a rental property under her name. And because of how I arranged it, the lease payments never processed. So, at exactly midnight, the security system would register them as trespassers, automatically alerting building security and law enforcement. But that wasn't even the worst of it. Lauren thought she drained my accounts. She really did. She probably got a kick out of moving the money bit by bit, thinking she was so clever, so sneaky, so unstoppable. But what she didn't realize was that every single dollar she had transferred wasn't actually mine. Before she even started skimming off the top, I had already relocated my actual funds. Everything she stole? It was from a dummy account I set up in her name. So legally? She had just committed fraud against herself. And that's not even the best part. I made sure that the account she thought she was stealing from had direct IRS oversight. Which means, in a few short hours, the federal government would be knocking at her door. But before that happened, the real chaos was set to begin. While Lauren and Jordan were sipping champagne, soaking in their illusion of success, they had no idea that security cameras were watching their every move. They had no idea that I had flagged her credit card for fraud, which meant every single luxury item she just purchased would be rejected and reported. They had no idea that all the utilities in the penthouse, electricity, water, Wi-Fi, would shut off at exactly 3 a.m. And they definitely had no idea that the police had already been alerted about a suspicious couple illegally occupying a penthouse they didn't own. So when 3 a.m. hit and everything went dark, that was just the beginning. I can picture it. Jordan, jolting awake in a panic as the lights flicker off. Lauren, grabbing her phone, confused, only to realize there's no service. Then, suddenly, a pounding at the door. Heavy, loud, unrelenting. Bang, bang, bang. Lauren, now fully awake, probably stumbles out of bed, heart pounding in her chest. Jordan, she'd hiss, voice shaking. Jordan, probably still half asleep, would mutter, Bro, what the hell? Then, through the door, a deep, commanding voice. This is building security. Open the door immediately. I wish I could see the look on Lauren's face in that moment. Her perfect little dream, shattering in real time. Jordan, scrambling to throw on some pants, running around like a headless chicken. The two of them, completely and utterly trapped in the very situation they thought they had escaped from. Lauren would probably check her phone, frantically trying to transfer more money, only to see that all of her accounts were frozen. She'd try to call someone. Me, maybe? Only to realize her phone is completely locked out. And when security finally breaks down the door, storming into that penthouse with flashlights and handcuffs, that's the moment she'd realize. She didn't just lose. She was never winning to begin with. And the best part? I wouldn't have to do a damn thing. I'd just be sitting at home, sipping my morning coffee, watching the news unfold. And when Lauren finally got access to a phone, when she desperately tried to reach out, begging for an explanation, I'd let her text sit for a while. And then, just to make sure she really understood, I'd send her the only response she'd ever get from me. All the best. At exactly 3:01 a.m., Lauren's dream life turns into a waking nightmare. The first sign that something is wrong comes in the form of complete darkness. One moment, she's curled up in silk sheets, fast asleep, head resting against Jordan's broad, gym-honed chest. The next, the entire penthouse plunges into darkness. The soft glow of city lights from the windows is the only source of illumination. The quiet hum of air conditioning stops. The Wi-Fi router blinks off. For a few disoriented seconds, Lauren is still half asleep, frowning in confusion. "Jordan," she mutters, nudging him. "Did the power go out?" Jordan grumbles something incoherent, rolling over, completely useless as always. Lauren reaches for her phone, squinting at the screen. No notifications. No signal. The Wi-Fi is down, but what's weirder is that her phone won't connect to her mobile network either. A chill snakes down her spine. Something's wrong. Then, the pounding starts. Bang, bang, bang. The sound explodes through the penthouse, so loud that even Jordan jolts awake this time. "Babe, what the?" Then, a deep, commanding voice cuts through the silence. "This is federal law enforcement. Open the door immediately." Lauren's heart stops. Federal law enforcement? She scrambles out of bed, stomach twisting into knots. She throws Jordan a panicked look, but he's already in full panic mode, sitting up, gripping the sheets like a toddler who just wet the bed. The pounding gets louder. Lauren stumbles to the door, trying to make sense of what's happening. What do they want? Jordan hisses, eyes wide. Lauren's brain races. Could it be a mistake? Maybe a misunderstanding? Maybe. No. 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 She suddenly remembers the money, the transfers, the bank accounts, and for the first time, a horrible, sinking realization slams into her like a freight train. She didn't just steal from Marcus. She stole from an account that was never his to begin with. A fraudulent account, one that she never should have touched. And now, she's realizing, too late, that Marcus had set her up. The pounding continues. Lauren grips the doorknob, trying to force her voice into something confident. Hold on. I need to. You have 5 seconds to open the door, or we're coming in. 5 seconds? Lauren panics. Her mind shrieks with the urge to run, to hide. But where? There's nowhere to go. No back exit. No escape. She turns to Jordan, but he looks like he's about to throw up. His entire soul has left his body. "Babe," he whispers, wild-eyed. What the hell did you do?" Bang, bang, bang. Lauren flinches, nearly jumping out of her skin. And then, the door bursts open. The raid begins. The next few seconds are a blur of chaos. Black-clad officers storm into the penthouse, their tactical vests displaying the words FBI and IRS criminal investigations. Flashlights slice through the darkness, illuminating the expensive furniture, the spilled champagne, the half-unpacked designer shopping bags. Lauren screams as agents surround her, yelling for her to put her hands where they can see them. Jordan? He bolts. Like a total coward, he tries to make a run for it, dashing toward the master bedroom, as if there's some secret escape tunnel he magically forgot about. But he doesn't even make it 2 steps before 2 agents tackle him face first onto the marble floor. "Oh my God. Bro, I didn't do anything." Jordan wails, arms flailing as they slap handcuffs on him. Lauren freezes, body shaking, as an agent steps in front of her, holding up a folder. Lauren Patterson? She swallows hard. The agent flips open the folder, revealing a thick stack of financial documents, wire transfers, and signed authorizations, with her name all over them. You are under investigation for wire fraud, identity theft, and money laundering, the agent says coldly. Lauren's stomach flips inside out. This isn't happening. This can't be happening. Her vision swims as the agent continues, rattling off charges, Miranda rights, and federal penalties. She barely hears a word of it. All she can think about is Marcus, and the horrifying truth crashes down on her like a tidal wave. He knew. He knew everything. He let her do this. He set her up from the start. The walls feel like they're closing in. Her perfect little escape plan, her dream life with Jordan, gone in an instant. And then, as if the night couldn't get worse, the penthouse landlord walks in. An older man in a sharp suit strides through the chaos, flanked by building security. He stops in the center of the room, surveying the mess with an unimpressed look. "Who is the leaseholder?" he asks. Lauren opens her mouth to answer, but then stops, because she suddenly remembers. She never actually signed a lease. Marcus set up the rental agreement in her name, but with a payment schedule that never went through. Meaning? They weren't tenants. They were trespassers. The landlord sighs dramatically, rubbing his temple. Fantastic. Another squatter situation. Lauren wants to die. She watches in humiliation as a security officer unrolls an eviction notice, stamped with her name. "Ma'am," the officer says, "you need to vacate the premises immediately." Vacate? She can barely breathe. Her entire life just collapsed in real time, and now she has nowhere to go. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. She turns, desperate, searching for a way out. Some loophole, some last-minute miracle. And then, the front door swings open again, and in walks Marcus, calm as ever, sipping his morning coffee. And when he sees Lauren, pale-faced, shaking, eyes wide with horror, he smiles. "Oh, don't mind me," he says casually, leaning against the doorway. "I just came to wish you all the best in federal prison." Lauren lets out a shriek of rage. And just like that, the woman who thought she had everything figured out just lost it all. I lean against the doorframe, sipping my coffee as the chaos unfolds. Lauren, standing in the middle of the penthouse, looks like she's about to pass out. Her perfectly manicured nails dig into the silk of her robe, her breath coming in short, panicked gasps. Her eyes dart around the room, taking in the FBI agents, the IRS investigators, the eviction notice, the handcuffed 21-year-old Jim rat writhing on the floor like a dying fish. Oh, I wish I had a camera. This is the moment she realizes she played herself. I take another sip of coffee. Delicious. The lead FBI agent, a no-nonsense woman with sharp eyes, steps forward, holding up a stack of documents that I prepared weeks ago. "Lauren Patterson?" she says, tone-clipped and professional. Lauren flinches, as if hearing her name out loud makes this whole thing more real. The agent flips through the documents and continues. "You are under investigation for wire fraud, identity theft, and money laundering. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law." Lauren stumbles back like she's been punched in the gut. Her perfectly planned fantasy, poof, gone. She whips her head toward me, eyes burning with disbelief and rage. "Marcus," she breathes, voice shaking. I flash her a lazy grin and take another sip of coffee. "Good morning, sweetheart." She lets out a choked, wordless scream. I tilt my head. Not so fun getting surprise news at 3 a.m., huh? Her whole body shakes with fury. You did this. You set me up." I sigh, shaking my head. "No, Lauren. You set yourself up. I just made sure it was efficient." She lunges at me, but two agents grab her arms, pinning them behind her back. "Don't touch me," she shrieks, struggling. "This is a mistake." The agent doesn't even blink. "Ma'am, resisting arrest is not going to help your case." Lauren thrashes, hair whipping around her face. "I didn't steal anything." The agent raises a single brow and holds up the documents. Page after page of financial records, bank transfers, suspicious deposits, Money that never belonged to her. All tied to her name. Jordan, the human dumbbell, suddenly stops whining for half a second. He looks over at Lauren, eyes going wide. Wait, babe, he sputters, slowly realizing something horrible. You did all that? That's like illegal, right? Lauren snaps her head toward him, her eyes murderous. Shut up, Jordan. Jordan gulps. Oh, I'm enjoying this way too much. Lauren turns back to the agent, trying a different tactic. Listen, this is all just a misunderstanding. My husband, well, my ex, he's setting me up. He's lying. The agent simply taps the folder. Ma'am, these are your own transactions. Your own emails authorizing the transfers. This is all you. Lauren's face drains of color. Now she knows. Now she finally understands. This isn't some prank. This isn't some bad dream she can wake up from. This is real. The life she thought she was running away to? It's already over. She lets out a short, shaky laugh, but there's no humor in it. Just panic. No, no, no. This can't be real. Her knees buckle, and for the first time ever, I see it. The real Lauren. Not the confident, smug woman who spent months sneaking around behind my back. Not the woman who sent me a text message to break up a decade-long marriage like I was some side character in her life. This is a woman who just lost everything in one single night. I set my coffee down on the marble counter. You thought you were so smart, didn't you? I say casually, taking a slow step toward her. Thought you could just take everything, run off with your little boy toy, and leave me with nothing? Lauren glares at me, but it's weaker now. Desperate. I hate you, she hisses. I smirk. I know. That's why I had so much fun with this. Jordan, still clueless, blurts out, wait, so do I have to? Like, go to jail too? The agent sighs. If you were knowingly spending stolen money, then yes. You will be charged as well. Jordan lets out a strangled noise, like a man who just realized he's been eating rat poison disguised as candy. Lauren whips around to face him, panicked. No, Jordan, listen to me. This isn't my fault. I didn't know. Jordan stares at her, then at the agents, then back at her. And that's when the funniest thing happens. He steps away from her, like she's contagious. I didn't know, bro, Jordan says quickly, his voice shaking. I thought she just had money, you know? I was just like, following her lead. Lauren's jaw drops. You spineless piece of... The agent cuts her off. You're both coming in for questioning. Let's go. Lauren loses it. She kicks, thrashes, screams bloody murder as they start dragging her toward the door. And just before they pull her away, she locks eyes with me one last time. You'll regret this, she spits, voice dripping with venom. I cross my arms and lean against the counter. Doubt it. She lets out one final scream as they haul her out. Jordan, now looking half dead, stares at me for a second. Then, under his breath, he mutters, Bro, you're terrifying. I grin. Thanks, kid. And with that, I watch as the biggest mistake of my life is dragged out of the penthouse in handcuffs. And for the first time in a long, long time, I feel free. I grab my coffee, take another sip, and finally, I let out a satisfied sigh. All the best, I murmur. And then, I walk out the door, leaving behind the wreckage of the woman who thought she could destroy me. As soon as Lauren is dragged out of the penthouse, kicking and screaming like a reality TV star who just found out she's getting voted off the island, I turn my attention to Jordan. The young, muscular, utterly useless Jordan. He's still standing there, looking like a deer caught in headlights, sweat forming at his hairline. His arms are handcuffed behind his back, but unlike Lauren, he's not fighting. He's frozen. Bro, he mutters under his breath, staring at me like I just ripped his entire world apart. I smirk and sip my coffee. What's up, kid? He stares at the ground, shaking his head, trying to process what just happened. His lips move, but no words come out. Then, as if all at once, reality hits him like a truck. He takes a shaky step forward. Wait, hold up. He looks at the agents, his voice cracking. I I didn't do anything. I swear. I didn't know she was stealing. I just thought she had money. She told me she was rich. The lead agent, a no-nonsense woman with a clipboard, arches an unimpressed brow. Mr. Walker, she says, flipping a page, you've been living in a penthouse, using stolen credit cards, and withdrawing money from an account that's under federal investigation. Jordan blinks. Wait, so, that's bad? I burst out laughing. I can't help it. Even the agent lets out a quiet sigh, rubbing the bridge of her nose. Lauren really left me for this. Jordan turns to me, eyes wild with pure panic. Dude, man, come on. I didn't do anything, bro. This is just a misunderstanding, right? I cock my head. Oh yeah. Yeah, bro. I mean, I was just chilling with her, you know? I didn't ask for any of this. He lets out a nervous laugh, looking around like anyone, might help him. This is crazy, man. I mean, I just met her at the gym, bro. I bite back a smirk. And then what? Jordan swallows. His eyes dart around the penthouse like he's trying to find an escape route that doesn't exist. And then she told me she, had money. That she was gonna take care of me. He blinks again. But dude, I didn't steal anything. She told me you were the loser. That you were the broke one. That you'd be begging her to come back. I snort. Jordan gulps. She said she was just taking what was rightfully hers. I smirk, crossing my arms. And you believed her? He nods slowly. Oh, kid. I shake my head. You should have used that gym time to do some brain exercises too. Jordan sucks in a sharp breath, and then he cracks. The full-on breakdown. 1 second, he's standing there, stiff and panicked. The next, he's sobbing. Full ugly crying. His knees buckle, and he actually falls to the floor, still handcuffed. Oh my God, he wheezes, his entire body shaking. The agent sighs, clearly unimpressed. Here we go. Jordan lets out a strangled, high-pitched whimper. This isn't fair. I just wanted to work out, bro. I didn't sign up for this. I almost feel bad. Almost. Jordan rocks back and forth, tears streaming down his face, completely losing any ounce of macho masculinity he probably spent years building in the gym. I don't want to go to jail, man, he bawls, looking up at me with mascara raccoon eyes. Dude, I didn't even like her that much. I blink. Jordan hiccups. I mean, yeah, sure, she was hot, bro. But, dude, she was bossy as hell. And she kept talking about her ex-husband all the time. I let out a low whistle. Damn, that's rough, buddy. Jordan sniffs violently. Yeah, man. Dude, I didn't even like traveling, bro. But she kept saying we were gonna go to Dubai and rent a yacht or some crap. And I didn't even know how we were affording all that. I raise an eyebrow. You didn't question it at all? Jordan hiccups again. I just thought she was a strong, independent woman, dude. I didn't think she was a criminal or whatever. I laugh again. The agent, growing impatient, taps her clipboard. Mr. Walker, she says flatly, are you saying you had no knowledge of any of the fraudulent financial activities? Jordan shakes his head aggressively. No, dude. I barely even checked my own bank account. She just gave me a card and was like, here, babe, use this. And I was like, aight, cool. The agent eyes him. So you didn't once think about where the money was coming from? Jordan sniffles. And no. She stares at him. I see. Then, she glances over at another officer. We'll take him in for questioning. Let's see if he's more useful than the other one. Jordan lets out a wheezing gasp. Wait. Can I get, a lawyer first, bro? The agent gives him a dry look. Yes, you can have a lawyer. Jordan sighs in relief. Then, but just so you know, she adds, flipping her paperwork, Lauren already started talking first. Jordan's entire face falls. His mouth drops open in betrayal. Wait, what? She's cooperating, the agent says with a small shrug. Throwing you under the bus, actually. Pretty quickly, too. Jordan lets out a silent scream. I swear, I've never seen someone's soul leave their body so fast. Lauren, the woman he threw everything away for, the woman he thought he was running away with, the woman who promised him a life of luxury, had just sold him out. And in that moment, something inside Jordan snaps. He squares his shoulders, sniffs, wipes his tears on his bicep, and then, in a horribly broken voice, he mutters, "Okay, you know what? I want to talk too." The agent hides a smirk. "Of course you do." I shake my head, chuckling. Lauren and Jordan, a perfect pair. Two idiots who thought they had one. Two idiots who just betrayed each other at the first sign of trouble. I sip the last of my coffee and watch as Jordan is dragged away, still muttering, "Damn, bro. I should have just stayed single." And for the first time in months, I feel completely, beautifully, absolutely at peace. The thing about revenge is that it's only satisfying if you get to witness it unfold in real time. And oh, what a masterpiece this has been. Lauren is gone, screaming as she's dragged out in handcuffs. Jordan, sniffling, just realized his sugar mama threw him under the bus at the first opportunity and is now begging for a lawyer like he suddenly grew a brain. And me? I'm standing in the middle of a penthouse that isn't even mine, sipping the last of my coffee, watching the wreckage of two people who thought they could ruin me. This isn't just a win. This is a perfect victory. The FBI agents wrap things up, doing their final checks before leaving. The lead investigator, the same no-nonsense woman who read Lauren her rights, walks up to me. "You really planned this whole thing out, didn't you?" she asks, giving me a look of pure amusement. I shrug. I just let them hang themselves. All I had to do was hand them the rope. She smirks, flipping her folder shut. "You do realize this is one of the most elaborate self-destructions I've ever seen, right?" I chuckle, setting my coffee cup down. "I like efficiency." She nods approvingly. "Well, you can sleep easy tonight. The case against Lauren is airtight. Your ex-wife will be facing years of legal trouble. As for the boy toy..." She glances toward the hallway where Jordan was just dragged off. "Well, he's cracking faster than an egg. We'll see if he's got anything useful to trade." I raise an eyebrow. "And what happens now?" She gives me a satisfied look. "Now? You walk away. Debt-free. Untouched. And with the pleasure of knowing you played them both better than they ever could have imagined." I exhale slowly, letting those words settle. I don't think I've truly felt peace in a long, long time. But right now, I feel it. One last message. The agents start leaving, but before I go, I pull out my phone. Lauren is still blocked, but just for fun, I unblock her for a few seconds. Sure enough, the moment I do, her name pops up on my screen. 11 missed calls. 37 unread messages. I smirk. I don't even open them. I don't need to. I already know what they say. "You set me up. Marcus, you can't do this to me. I'll ruin you, I swear. Please, just talk to me. We can fix this." I shake my head. Typical. Lauren only begs when she realizes she's out of options. She never cared when she thought she was winning. But now that the game is over, now she's desperate. I type out one last text. Not an explanation. Not a confrontation. Not even an insult. Just 2 words. "All the best." I hit send. And then, without hesitation, I block her again. Forever. Walking away like a king. I glance around the penthouse one last time. There's something poetic about this. Standing in the ruins of Lauren's fantasy, completely untouched, while she's on her way to face the consequences of her own greed. The champagne she popped? The luxury bags she scattered on the couch? The penthouse she thought she'd be celebrating in for years? It's all meaningless now. None of it was ever hers to begin with. I take one final, satisfied breath, grab my coat, and turn toward the door. As I step into the hallway, the building security guard, the same one who just witnessed the entire disaster unfold, gives me a knowing nod. "Damn," he mutters. "That was some cold-blooded stuff, man." I smirk. "Yeah, it was." He lets out a low whistle. "I hope you got some good sleep before this, 'cause I don't think your ex-wife will be sleeping right for years." I chuckle. "Trust me, I'm about to sleep better than I have in a long time." And with that, I walk out of the building, leaving behind the wreckage of the woman who thought she could destroy me. Lauren wanted revenge, but in the end, she played herself. And me? I just made sure she had a front row seat to her own downfall. I step out of the building into the cool night air, inhaling deeply. There's something about fresh air after total destruction that just hits different. The city is still alive. Cars rushing by, people walking on sidewalks, oblivious to the spectacle of betrayal, downfall, and poetic justice that just unfolded in that penthouse. Lauren is gone. Jordan is gone. And me? I'm free. No more walking on eggshells. No more wondering if she's lying to me. No more pretending not to notice when she locks her phone like a teenager, hiding texts from their parents. I have nothing left to worry about. And for the first time in a long time, that feels damn good. I slide into my car and start the engine, letting the dashboard lights flicker on. Before I pull out of the parking garage, I do something I probably shouldn't. I check my phone again. Even though I just blocked Lauren, I have a gut feeling that she's not done screaming into the void. So, just for fun, I open a separate messaging app, one she doesn't know I have access to. And sure enough, Lauren's meltdown continues. She must have borrowed someone's phone because the messages keep rolling in. I take my time scrolling through them, a smirk playing on my lips. Marcus, you heartless monster. How could you do this to me? I loved you. Oh, did you, Lauren? Did you love me when you slowly drained my bank accounts? Did you love me when you laughed about leaving me behind my back? Did you love me when you planned a new life with a 21-year-old musclehead and sent me a text message to end our marriage like I was nothing? Nah, this isn't love. This is panic. This is a woman realizing, too late, that she bet everything and lost. I keep scrolling. Please, just talk to me. We can fix this. You can't just throw me away like this. I shake my head. It's funny. When Lauren thought she was in control, she was ruthless. She didn't hesitate to throw me away like old furniture when she thought she was upgrading. But now that she's the one being discarded, now she's desperate. It's almost pathetic. One final lesson. I hover my thumb over the delete button, ready to erase her messages and move on. But then, I get an idea. A final, parting gift. I type out one last message. Just 3 words. Check your messages. I hit send. And then, I lean back in my seat, waiting. I can almost picture her frantically unlocking her phone, scrambling through the same messages she sent me when she thought she was winning. The midnight text. The cold, heartless breakup. The smugness dripping off every word. Pack your things and get out. I'm done with you and starting over with my 21-year-old soulmate. I've already drained all your accounts and credit cards. Bye. I wonder if she even recognizes that woman anymore. I wonder if, for the first time, she finally understands what it feels like to be tossed aside like an afterthought. She thought she was invincible. She thought she was untouchable. But karma moves fast. And tonight, she learned that the hard way. I take a deep breath, let the satisfaction settle deep into my bones, and then, I delete everything. The messages, her contact info, any trace of her ever existing in my life. She is nothing to me now. And that is the real victory. The drive home. As I pull out of the parking garage, a familiar song comes on the radio. Something smooth, relaxing. I chuckle. This is the first time in years I've driven without tension in my shoulders, without resentment bubbling in my chest, without feeling like I'm living with a stranger. I'm done. I survived. And best of all, I came out on top. Lauren thought she was starting over, but in reality, I was the one who got the fresh start, and it feels damn good. I roll down the window, let the cool night air rush in, and let out a deep, satisfied sigh. Then, without a single ounce of regret, I whisper the last words I'll ever say about her. All the best. And with that, I drive forward, leaving the past forever behind me. The morning after everything went down, I woke up feeling something I hadn't felt in years, peace. No tension in my chest. No paranoia about what my wife, ex-wife, was up to. No nagging gut feeling that something was terribly wrong. Because finally, everything was right. Lauren was gone. Jordan was gone. And me? I was starting over, on my own terms. It didn't take long before news of the great Lauren meltdown spread like wildfire. I walked into my favorite coffee shop, the same one Lauren used to drag me to, pretending she loved organic living, while secretly adding sugar when no one was looking, and the barista gave me a knowing look. "You're that Marcus, aren't you?" she asked, grinning as she handed me my usual. I raised an eyebrow. "That Marcus?" She smirked. "Lauren Patterson? The chick who got arrested last night? Turns out, one of my friends lives in her building. She sent me a video of her getting dragged out in cuffs." I took a sip of coffee, trying not to laugh. "And?" The barista pulled out her phone, tapped a few times, and flipped the screen toward me. And there she was. Lauren, dressed in that ridiculous silk robe she always claimed made her look sophisticated, now looking like a woman who just had her entire world ripped apart. Her face was a mess, smudged mascara, wide panicked eyes, screaming at the top of her lungs. "I didn't do anything. This is a mistake." The camera shook as someone giggled in the background. "Damn, she really thought she was above the law," a voice said. Then the camera zoomed in on Jordan, who was sitting in the hallway, handcuffed, looking seconds away from hyperventilating. "Bro," he whispered, shaking his head, "I shoulda just stayed single." I nearly spit out my coffee laughing. The barista chuckled. "So? Is it true?" I raised an eyebrow. "Is what true?" She leaned forward. "Did you really set her up?" I smiled, took another sip of coffee, and shrugged. "All I did," I said, "was let her make her own choices." And that was the truth. Lauren didn't need my help to self-destruct. All I did was sit back and let her push the button. Meanwhile, in federal prison, Lauren wasn't doing well. And by not doing well, I mean, she was losing her damn mind. Turns out, prison isn't nearly as luxurious as the penthouse she thought she'd be lounging in. Her first phone call? To her lawyer. Her second phone call? To me. And lucky for her, I happened to be in a good mood. So when I saw an unfamiliar number flash across my screen, I decided to answer. "Hello?" Silence. Then, a sharp intake of breath. "Marcus." There she was. I leaned back in my chair, resting my feet on my desk. "Lauren, to what do I owe the pleasure?" You ruined me." I laughed. Loudly. "Ruined you?" I repeated. "Lauren, sweetheart, you ruined yourself. I just gave you the room to do it properly." She choked on her own words. "I can't believe this. I loved you." I rolled my eyes. "Sure you did. That's why you ran off with a 21-year-old gym bro and tried to drain my accounts." Let me guess." I cut her off, mocking her tone. "It wasn't like that, Marcus. I was just confused. I was going to come back. I made a mistake." Silence. Bullseye. "Lauren," I sighed, rubbing my temple. "What do you actually want?" She hesitated. Then, in a soft, broken voice, "Help me." I sat up, eyebrows raised. "Excuse me?" She swallowed hard. I don't belong here. These women, Marcus, they're criminals." I nearly dropped my phone laughing. "Oh, no way," I wheezed. "Lauren, baby, what exactly do you think you are?" No, I cut her off. "Let's really think about this. You stole hundreds of thousands of dollars. You committed fraud, identity theft, and got yourself tangled in federal crimes. And now you're surprised you're in jail with criminals?" "Marcus." "Lauren," I sighed, shaking my head. "I don't know what to tell you. You made your choices. This is where those choices got you." A sharp inhale. Then, the smallest, most pathetic whisper. "I miss you." I nearly fell out of my chair laughing. "You miss me?" I repeated. "Oh, that's rich." "I do," she insisted. "Marcus, you were safe. I made a mistake. If I could go back?" I rolled my eyes. "Lauren, let me stop you there." She fell silent. I leaned forward, smirking. "You don't miss me. You miss the life I gave you. The money. The stability. The fact that I wasn't some idiot who blew cash on designer sneakers and called it an investment." She whimpered. I sighed dramatically. "If only someone had warned you that the grass isn't always greener." Silence. Then, "Marcus." "Yeah." If I get out, would you ever? I hung up and blocked the number. Forever. Moving forward. That was the last time I ever heard Lauren's voice. Last I checked, she wasn't adjusting well to prison life. And Jordan? Oh, he flipped. He gave up everything just to get a deal. Which means Lauren is really, really screwed. As for me, life is pretty damn good. I took a trip, bought myself a classic car I'd always wanted, opened a new business I never had time for when I was busy playing husband to someone who never deserved it. And the best part? I sleep better than I have in years. No stress, no betrayal, no toxicity. Just me, my coffee, and a life that is finally mine again. And every once in a while, when I see a news update about Lauren's ongoing legal battles, I sip my coffee, lean back, and murmur to myself, all the best. And damn, does it feel good.